something that bothered me very early on was the carbon footprint of Bitcoin and the potential for using the world's energy, using all of the world's energy. In 2011, I did my own back-of-the-envelope math and decided that it could be disastrous if Bitcoin's price were to rise the way that some Bitcoiners were talking about it, equaling the value of gold. At that time, the block reward was 50 Bitcoin per block every 10 minutes. 50 Bitcoin were being awarded to a miner. That would have, if you took the price of also the supply was lower. So if you took the price of Bitcoin at that time, made it, I don't remember what the price would have been if the market cap were equal to gold, but it was millions of dollars per coin. And then you're offering 50 of those every 10 minutes. Well, that was disaster for the energy system. And every computer worldwide would have been mining Bitcoin and doing nothing else. Because no matter how slow your computer, you'd still be better off mining than doing anything else with it. So I was like, well, this is a terrible idea, actually. And at the time I was mining, I made my own miners with graphics cards, and I decided to give those away like an idiot to a nonprofit in town that teaches kids how to program. Town now is Portland, that's where I live. And so I rejected Bitcoin, actually, for its environmental impact and energy use potential back in 2011. But I couldn't give up the drug. The idea was too good to disrupt the global monetary system and provide a crowdsourced, people-governed alternative to banks, central banks, and governments that would allow anybody anywhere in the world to store value in a way that cannot be debased and to transmit value to anybody else in the world digitally who's internet connected without the permission of a central third party. Like, that idea was just too freaking cool to give it up. And later on in 2018, 2019, I started looking more deeply into the energy issue. Like, maybe it's not as simple as I had thought. And it wasn't. It wasn't as simple. It turns out I didn't know anything about energy to begin with. But I also knew nothing about how Bitcoin would use energy. And I came to a view that I have now and that we're seeing play out now, on which Bitcoin mining does use a lot of energy, uses about 0.5% of all electricity in the world and 0.25% of all energy in the world. But it uses like the cheapest 0.5% of energy in the world because it's designed to seek cheap energy. And when you look at what it means for something to use the cheapest 0.5% of energy in the world, also in a way that can just turn on and turn off at will, and it can be located anywhere in the world, it actually turns out to be kind of a good thing in a lot of different ways. It's a good thing in that it helps to finance energy infrastructure. It's a good thing in that it's a good thing in that it uses waste energy that otherwise wouldn't be used, and makes energy infrastructure possible. So we can talk more about this, but that's the whole arc of my journey from idea addict to now public whatever influencer, I guess is the best term for it, embarrassingly. Yeah, I just saw a massive epistemic asymmetry. What I knew about Bitcoin in 2011 was already an asymmetry, but I stayed quiet. I worked in the shadows, I met with people from local Bitcoin.info to sell them a little Bitcoin, and we would talk Bitcoin for hours, just individually. That was my total social game. But this time around with energy, I don't want to keep it to myself. In fact, it's like a kind of thing that once you see it, you can't help but share it. It's the thing people are most wrong about. One of the things people are most wrong about in the entire world. And if you're an educator and an academic, why else do you exist other than to close those epistemic gaps and bravely stand in there and take the heat and ultimately be proven right and get the glory for it, So that's what I'm about now.